And welcome back everyone to the first Australia race. If you were with us before, you'd have realised that the game crashed, and that's why the stream ended so suddenly, as my game just crashed, and yeah, I couldn't really do anything about it. We will be back underway. Of course, no qualifying this time, as we'd already finished it. And yeah, so we will be underway shortly. Of course, it will be a custom grid now, still the same as qualifying, but you know, minus qualifying. Everyone has to start on the same tyres as they did as they were starting in the race. So top 10 will still have to stick with softs, and I believe everyone outside the top 10 will. I think they'll still have to start on the tyres that they chose before the game crashed. But yeah, I suppose we'll have to wait and see with that one. We're just waiting for the session to load. Just checking that everything is all okay with everything. So yeah, now we will begin the formation lap. A lot of tyre smoke there from, I think that may have been one of the racing points. Didn't see it that well there, but yeah, I will just finishing a few things, and then we'll be underway shortly. So yeah, just have to go on the formation lap, and it'll be interesting as we have I completely missed it, but Lewis on pole with, I think it was like a 129, sorry, not 120, 119.1 or something around that. Vice Sheng looked very eager to get going there, as he was almost went off the track with how much he was warming up his tyres. But yeah, Lewis was the fastest by a very, very small margin. In fact, the entire top four was very covered by a very small margin. And just to refresh your memory, I'll go through the grid again. So we have Lewis on pole, Vice Sheng P2, CRT Force P3, AMC F P4, Marcus P, HMW Shenda P5, Marcus P6, F1 Fado P7, Brady Pollock P8, Melvin P9, IZ Leroy P10, John Ag P11, Tosma Hassad P12, July P13, Danny P14, King Enzo P15, the Norwegian Boy P16, Manel P17, Emerald Oscar P18, and PMP Max starting from the back of the grid, although I'm not sure why. He didn't do a set lap in qualifying, although he was starting somewhere like P17, so he's been put to the back of the grid for whatever reason. Still, he was starting towards the back anyway, so I guess it hasn't made that much of a difference to his race. But yeah, so everyone is just coming back to their grid slots. Hopefully it works this time, and we don't have to go through everything last time. We've only got a few minutes. I'm not sure how long, but we've only got a bit, so hopefully it doesn't happen again. So yeah, pretty much everyone in the top 10. Oh, everyone in the top 10 started on softs, as they qualified on softs. Only a few cars outside the top 10 starting on softs, with everyone else starting either on hards or mediums. But yeah, so we will just be waiting a minute for now the start phase to begin. A bit of a glitch on the leaderboard as we are waiting for the lights. I'm now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and they hold for a very long time. The lights are, and we are underway for the first race of the season. Big leaderboard glitch there, as all the Haas getting pushed off the track there in the background. I'm not sure if you saw there a lot of ghosting there. Not too sure the reason, but Vice Sheng is now in P1. He's got it from Lewis. No yellow flags, everyone making it through cleanly, apart from one of the AlphaTauris who's like that is the Norwegian boy. As there's a front wing flying off the Haas there, and some debris off the off the wing of King Enzo there. I'm not sure if that's a VSC or yeah, just a VSC, a big group there, and the Haas just going straight past all of them there. As that was close to contact with that Mercedes of, I think, PMP Mac. As yeah, he might have made it through without any wing damage. I can't really tell from that angle. But now the leaderboard just sorting itself out as we are back racing again. Weisheng took the lead and went. Oh no, we aren't back under the racing. Sorry, thought it was green flags. I'm not sure why, but Weisheng took the lead into turn 1 off Lewis. TRT Force kept P3, and so pretty much everyone in the top 4 has stayed the same, besides Weisheng and Lewis switching positions. So the Ferrari driver really proving that, really taking it to the Renault driver into turn 1. So that was a pretty exciting start. No DNFs, which is thankful, though there are yellow flags at the back as well. Back underway racing now as we see TRT Force trying to attack the Scotsman of Lewis. And he's getting the move done. Now we're right on board with TRT Force going down the run on the run into turn 1. Let's watch from Lewis as he isn't using that much ERS. I think and PP Mac has retired from the session now. I'm not too sure why that is. We'll try and have a look now. We won't be able to see as everyone's just gone past where he retired from. But yeah, so Lewis sort of struggling for race pace so far, as both TRT Force and Weisheng YT have gotten past him in the opening stages of the race, although it is a long race, still about 27, I think 27, 28 laps to go. So the Scotsman definitely can still come back into this as top 5 very close together. I think HMW Shender almost could have also had a chance to pole in qualifying, but he did just DNF on one of his laps. So Melvin has let's look at the winners and losers from lap 1. So Weisheng and TRT Force definitely a winner with gaining position each, and now 1-2. And Lewis a bit of a lose there by losing positions and now falling back to P3. Bradley Pollock gained a position along with Melvin, who gained a position. F1 Fado lost 2 positions. Tos Marcel gained a position. Danny gained 2 positions, and a brilliant start for Manuel and Emma Oscar, both gaining 4 positions. Norwegian Boy gaining 1 position, and John Ag losing 5. King Enzo losing 2, and July losing 5. Although they both, all three of those drivers did go into the pits, as I think they had wing damage. Is a pretty hectic start. Yeah, the top 4-5 drivers still very close together, and I don't think any of them have any wing damage. None of them seem like it. As we can so yeah, only the bottom 3 have made pit stops so far, and they are onto the hard, medium, and soft tyre. So maybe July, I think he can maybe send those hards to the end, although it'd be very difficult, as it's. I don't think he'll be able to take those hards to the end. I think it probably might have been better doing a soft medium or something like that, or maybe a yeah. So I'm not sure really what that strategy from July there was, but anyway, so top 5 all within DRS of each other. So this could turn into these 5 pulling away from the rest of the pack and really starting their own DRS train. As I'm not sure what happened there. I think maybe your DRS TRT Force just got past Weisheng, although as long as he can stay within the second mark of TRT Force, then he might be able to get him back on the next 2 straights. As HMW pretty close to Aaron McFall, but he is just thinking about making a move, but he's not going to be close enough. Weisheng, can he keep it out of the barrier? Barely, but he will lose P2, P3, and P4, and he's now back in P5, and he even loses P5 to Marcus, as LZ Leroy has retired from the session. Just try and catch what happened there. He's gone off into the barrier in turn 1, and is that a safety car? Yeah, safety car. So that's definitely brought back everyone. That's definitely brought back the bottom 3 back into this race with that safety car, as they will now be able to catch up to the rest of the pack and maybe just get more of a chance of scoring some points, or even getting a high finish. I wonder if July will come into the pits, because I don't think it's the right decision unless he can absolutely nurse those hards a very long time. I don't think it's the right decision to be on those hard tyres, and he will now come into the pits, I assume, to change onto mediums or something like that, as he making sure not to. Also, King Enzo, he has gone onto the hards, so I wonder if we've missed something and those 2 have collided and both gotten wing damage. See, is he changing his front wing? No, not changing the front wing as he goes onto mediums. So maybe Enzo thinks he can. Maybe Enzo's risking it and going to try and last those hards all the way to the end of the race. It'll be very difficult for him, but it could be possible. We'll have to wait and see. As all the lead is now coming in, I think. Will they put on hards? Who's Vice Sheng keeping going for track position here. As it's going to be very chaotic in the pit lane as everyone enters it. Lewis going onto the hard tyre. I don't know why there was a bit of a break. Oh, was it because Enzo pit? I think the game glitched there a bit and it made it sort of like a double stack, even though Enzo pit definitely a lot earlier. So Enzo is indirectly a bit of ruined Lewis's race at the bit, as he was in P2, is now behind Aaron. So Manel, Toss My Salad and Vice Sheng all think it's better to try and keep track position, maybe hoping for another safety car, or maybe they could, maybe Vice Sheng could be planning to go onto the medium tyres. Although I think if I was them and I saw everyone else pitting for hards, I think I would probably went for hards and try to last it to the end, but then again I'm not them, so maybe Vice Sheng has a trick up the sleeve and can try and make the one stop work, although it's essentially a two stop as he's lost time to their pit stop, as they'll catch up at the back of him. So I wonder how this restart's going to go, as we are just waiting for everyone to catch up to the back of the safety car. So lap 5, Vice Sheng currently in the lead, though he did have that big moment in turn 1 where he almost put it into the barrier, did catch it, and then LZ Leroy did the same thing, except he did put it in the barrier and did catch it and is now out of the session. But yeah, Vice Sheng currently in P1, Toss My Salad P2, Manuel P3, CRT Force P4. He's the this is all the drivers who have now pit, I think, or most of them have pit. Yeah, but TRT Force P4, Aaron P5, Lewis P6, HMW Shenda P7, Marcus P8, F1 Fado P9, Brady Pollock P10, Melvin P11, Danny P12, John Ag P13, the Norwegian Boy P14, Emerald Oscar P15, King Enzo P16, and July is currently last. So that's the grid rundown after the first 5-6 laps. I think 5 laps? Yeah, 5 laps. We've had a virtual safety car after lap 1 or 2, it was at some point then, and now a full safety car. So yeah, this is let's just ride off board for the time being. Something going to be interesting how it will go for everyone is the safety car might be coming in next lap, or will it be this lap? Really depends if King Enzo and July can catch up to the back of the safety car by then. I think they probably will be able to, as King Enzo's only 10 seconds behind, so yeah, they'll easily be able to catch up to the back of the safety car. So I wonder if the safety car will come in this lap then. Let's look at the penalties. So a 5-second for Toss My Salad. I'm not sure when he got that, but he's going to have to serve into the pit stop, so if he got it through no fault of his own, then he's going to have to, there's no chance of him getting it removed. CRT Force with a 3-second time penalty. I wonder what that's for. HMW with a 5-second time penalty, so maybe has he made contact with someone under the safety car? He has already pit, so he might be able to get that removed if it wasn't his fault, and July has a 3-second time penalty. So those are all the penalties for the time being. And I'm sure there will be some more to come, as definitely this race shows a lot of promise. It really depends how good a job can how good a job can safety car will be coming in this lap, by the way. How good a job can Toss My Salad try? I'm sure he'll try to help out his teammate, because if he can hold up the likes of TT Force and Aaron and Lewis and HMW Shenda, then Vice Sheng may be able to pull away from them and perhaps maybe claim the win. It's pretty unlikely, as King Enzo and July, I think, have just made contact, as they both got a 5-second, as they almost did it again there. But yeah, we will just let's ride on board with Vice Sheng, as he's just coming up to the penultimate corner, as trying to warm up his tyres. I wonder, will he just take it really slowly so no one can get any slips through? Oh, he seems to have gone now, and he's definitely caught Toss My Salad off guard there. He's already gained a 1-second advantage. It seems everyone's been caught off guard there, as I think Manuel just getting out of the way of his teammate Aaron and will try and hold up Lewis, although Lewis going for the move. A bit dangerous swerving there from Aaron, as Lewis gets the move done on Manuel. Brilliant move from the Scotsman, as I think Aaron was just trying to swerve there to either get tyre heat or try and break the toe of Lewis. But yeah, TRT Force now looking to attack Toss Salad as Weisheng already pulled out a 2.6 second gap to his teammate. 1 tenth behind. Will TRT Force go for the move here? No, he will not from the time being. How has TRT Force got 13 seconds worth of penalties? I'm not sure how he's gotten that or if it's deserved or not. Maybe he's just made some contact with a few people on the last lap, but he has already pit, and if he's going to the end on those tyres, then he can definitely probably get those removed. But there's definitely moves. But Marcus seems to have something happened to Marcus, and Marcus is spun. Marcus has gone into the barrier or spun or something like that, and all the way down into P50. Weisheng's retired. What is that for? As he's just he's lost it. He's lost it through the very fast chicane. He's not the only person to do that. Is that a virtual safety car or a safety car? It is a safety car. So, Toss My Salad now will be leading his first race. I think, well, will be leading in his first race in the championship's first race. Unless he, oh no, he does come into pit, so that means TRT Force will regain the lead, although he does have that 3-second time penalty and an extra 10 seconds, although those may get removed if they were undeserved. So yeah, Aaron running a decent race, started I think he started where did Aaron start? Aaron started P4, I think, and has definitely gained a few positions. As I don't know if Manuel started on those hard tyres. I was just thinking Manuel's pulled off a definitely good strategy to get to P4, although he will have to hope for maybe another safety car later on in the race if he wants to try and hold it, because a lot of other people have pit behind on the stops. Yeah, he's the only person yet to pit, as July's made 3 stops already, same with King Enzo, and John Ag's made 2. But yeah, assuming that everyone else will be going to the end on those hard tyres ahead, then Manuel's definitely going to have to hope for another safety car or a VSC to try and stand a chance of keeping at P4 or keeping a chance of points. As 2 safety cars so far in this race. On lap 8, we've lost Weisheng, IZ, Leroy, and PMP Mac in the race so far. I'm sure there's definitely more chaos to come in the remaining 22 laps or so. Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to wait for the safety car to come in. I assume probably next lap. But yeah, definitely next lap, as TRT Force will be the one to get us underway this time. Last time it was the Ferrari of Weisheng, this time it will be the Mercedes of TRT Force. And wonder if he'll keep his lead on the safety car restart. So he will just go around again for his for the safety car. I think the safety car second lap, or is it the first? Third. I think it's the second. It should be coming in this lap anyway, as everyone has caught up to it. Is who's that pitting? It's King Enzo pitting. So maybe he's going for mediums possibly, or yep, he's pitting onto July. Has retired from the session. That seems pretty peculiar. So I think King Enzo's gone onto the side. So maybe he's going for a fast lap, or let's just hopefully July's car doesn't disappear when King Enzo goes past. I'm actually pretty what here. Yeah, it's disappeared now, but unless he retired on or something, unless he's just absolutely lost the back end through turn 1 and 2. So maybe it seems pretty interesting. So I wonder what's happened there. So I'm not sure what King Enzo's strategy is here. I'm not sure if I was in the situation. I'm not sure if I would have went to softs in that situation, as they're definitely not going to last to the end. Maybe he could be trying a soft medium or a soft. Whatever he's doing, he's definitely doing a 2-stop. Oh, 2 more stops. Well, 1 more stop after this, but yeah, he has already made 4, so it's 1 more to add to it. So I wonder what safety car in this lap. What TNT Force, Aaron McFall and Lewis's tyres are on. Only 4 laps old, so but it's definitely gonna be a race of tyre wear, because whoever has the least tyre wear by the end of the race can definitely take it. Because if for example TNT Force and Aaron don't look after their tyres well, then Lewis could definitely have a run at them in the closing stages of the race. TNT Force just warming up his tyres. Aaron, Lewis also doing the same. So it's going to be a 3-way, possibly 4-way scrap if Manuel can get involved, of two racing points, a Renault and a Mercedes. TNT Force now bolting, going. Didn't get as good of a restart as Vice Sheng did. Aaron very aggressive at warming off tyres, and oh, what's happened to HMW Shender there? It just seems to have DNF down the straight. I'm no idea what's happened there, but we're gonna have to keep going forward. Lewis has clearly made some sort of mistake. Maybe his tyres were too cold. He's lost out by a second with the 2 cars ahead. Aaron now chasing down TNT Force. The Irishman chasing down the German, as they are still pretty close. Not really, neither of them gaining time on the other. As has Danny gone round? Danny has gone round there. Through the just towards the end of the first sector, Danny has gone round. Aaron now just 5 tenths behind, almost going into the barrier there. Mark's making a move on the Norwegian boy. Both the Norwegians fighting out there. One in a Haas, one in a Alpha Tauri. Lewis 1.5 seconds back. He will definitely want to make up for that mistake and try and catch up to the Racing Point and the Mercedes. Although I think Lewis's tyres may have just been a bit too cold at the start, because it looked like he had a little snap of oversteer through the exit of turn 1. King Enzo now very close to the back of the McLaren of MRL Oscar, and MRL Oscar a bit slow off the end of that corner. Enzo making the move and getting it done. Brilliant move from Enzo there, through the little right-hander there. So yeah, we lost HMW Shender there. I'm not sure what to. He must be disappointed with that, as definitely in qualifying it looked like he had a chance of some big points, or maybe even a podium, as he qualified, I think P4. Oh, no, sorry, P5 in the end, but he was very close to the top guys until he DNF in qualifying. But yeah, so Danny, quite far back. I wonder if he'll be going for a fast lap or just retiring from the session completely, as unless there's another safety car, it is pretty much his race over. As Emma, Oscar and John Ag having a brilliant scrap there, even though they are only fighting for P12. Still good driving from both of them, I think, from what I saw there. But this is where the real points are. King Enzo definitely needs to be aggressive on the strategy and get a lot of moves done in a short space of time if he wants to make it work. He still has definitely a lot of ERS, so should be easy for him to get some moves done. And he of course has the tyre advantage compared to the Ferrari and well, pretty much everyone else on track. Well, not definitely everyone else on track. So coming through, Danny picking onto hard, so maybe he's still a chance. Maybe he thinks he still has a chance of coming back in this race. So you'll have to see him not just giving up and retiring. But a brilliant move from Enzo as he squeezes Thomas Massad a little bit wide. I'm sure Thomas Massad might complain about that after the race, as it wasn't the cleanest of driving from Enzo. Could have left a bit more room on the outside. But Lucas is now pulling away from Aaron. So the Mercedes and what some people like to call the pink Racing Point, definitely he might get out of DRS here, as Aaron's he's using a lot of ERS though. So is Aaron. But Lewis, yeah, you gotta. I think if Lucas can break the DRS from Aaron, he will. Oh, that's a mistake from Aaron there, and he's broken the DRS now. So Aaron really needs to push hard. Yeah, because if Lucas can break that DRS from Aaron, then he can absolutely bolt away. King Enzo now will be pushing to try and get onto the back of the two Norwegians there, and maybe maybe he can rescue his race. Aaron just staying out of that little 1 second gap that he needs to break if he wants to have a chance of getting a win in his first race. Yeah, so it's gonna shortly probably become a bit of a DRS train, as yeah, it was already becoming that from about P10 to P6 5. And yeah, so Lucas has now broken DRS from Aaron, although he's used a lot of ERS in the process. So Lewis has just under 70% now ERS, and there could be a chance. This could still be a chance of Lewis to win today's race. He's driven a brilliant race so far. So as long as he continues that and just saves some more ERS, then he's definitely gonna have the advantage on these two, as Lucas is already down to 21%. And Aaron's already down quite a lot. I think he might be saving a bit now, just for maybe an attack on TT Forced later on in the later laps. There's King Enzo, yeah. So King he's had a brilliant recovery so far. I think he broke his front wing at the start of the race, but he's recovered quite well now, and is definitely he could be in the shout for some points. As Marcus Toole, looking to make the move on Melbourne, thought of making the dive, but didn't in the end, as F1 Fado's holding up this train massively. Almost so at the point where Melbourne had to lock up to avoid hitting Brady Pollock ahead, as now Marcus gets the move done on Melvin. Brilliant move from Marcus. Melvin just avoiding the rear end of him. So yeah, we'll continue to watch the scrap grow, as the Norwegian boy was thinking of making a move on Melvin. Melvin needs to get his braking a bit earlier, as he's looking like he might end up hitting Marcus or whoever is ahead of him at that point, as F1 Fado is so slow he's blocking all the cars and is definitely very slow for all of them. As King Enzo got the move done on the Norwegian boy, and now couldn't get 2 done in the space of a few corners. No, he can't. Brady Pollock getting past F1 Fado, and that was very important for Brady's race. Now oh, Marcus is round! Thankfully he ghosted, so he didn't take out anyone in the process. I'm not sure if he just completely lost the rear end or if it was Melvin hitting him in the end. As I did point out, Melvin is definitely getting very close to people's rear ends. So Melvin might have taken him out, but King Enzo getting done. Oh, F1 Fado's round! Wow, a lot of stuff happening in the space of just a few corners there, but so Marcus round, F1 Fado's round. Norwegian boy is also out. We'll see what happens here, as F1 Fado also retires from the session. Wow, what has happened there? What has happened to the Norwegian boy? He's just gone into the wall there, and a 3rd safety car in this race. So this definitely is. I think Lewis is thanking this and a bit disappointed of this, as he definitely had the ERS advantage to Lucas and Aaron. So Lewis, it's not great for Lewis, but it's also helped him get back in the fight for the win. Of course Lucas does have those penalties, but it really depends how many of those will be removed after the race, if any. Danny pitting again, and he just needs to hope he gets out quickly, as otherwise he might be lapped here. And Lewis coming into the pit lane, so he's favouring to go on to what I assume will be either a new set of softs or a set of mediums, as we'll just see as he trundles down the pit lane at 37 miles per hour. Sorry. New set of mediums for Lewis. So he's chosen to go for the tyre advantage over track position, and John Ag is a big gainer there, with gaining all John Ag and Toss Masada, a big gainer there, getting up to P2 and P3. So it'll be interesting now. Lewis needs to make sure he can clear them. Lewis and Aaron need to make sure they can clear them both very quickly if they want to catch Lucas Forced, with only a few. Not a few, but still a decent amount of laps remaining, but definitely laps will start to fly by, and then they might run out of time. I think the safety car lap will end on lap 17 probably, maybe lap 16 if everyone gets around quick enough. We'll have to wait and see. So TT Forced has already done 1 safety car restart today. So he's going to get some more practice to do another in a few laps, and I think it's pretty unfortunate for Danny that he has now been lapped, as that means his race has essentially ended unless he can get by Lucas Forced and make up 1 minute 34 seconds. So you got to feel for Danny there. Very unfortunate that if he stayed out, he probably would have. Wooly wouldn't have been lapped, but very frustrating for him. But it's the championship, so of course he does have the next few races to come back, and there are only 12 drivers in the session, so 2 more DNFs and everyone who finishes will get points. Or point if they come P10. So John Ag and Toss My Salad both trying a different strategy to pretty much everyone else. So everyone else has picked for mediums. And that's definitely helped Enzo. That safety car, as Enzo would have been further behind without this safety car. Admittedly, I'm sure he probably would have preferred to maybe do 2 sets of softs. Or maybe he was going for mediums along, but he no longer has a tyre advantage, but he does still have the advantage. Well, no, he doesn't have an advantage because his tyres are older than everyone else's, but of course, Toss My Salad, I don't think those mediums will make it to the end unless he is a god at managing tyre wear, but yeah, that's definitely helped out King Enzo's race. As before, he probably would have been, I don't know, maybe P11 or further, maybe even further back without this safety car when he had to pit again. But yeah, so I think King Enzo will be thanking all the F1 Fado, the Norwegian boy, for both DNFing there and bringing out the 3rd safety car of this race. Yeah, so I wonder if the safety car will be coming in this lap or if it will be next lap. But yeah, we will have to wait and see. I think Aaron is just maybe trying to burn a bit of fuel as he's driving, not sure if that's glitch with the throttle thingy, but yeah, he's driving with brake and accelerator on, so definitely trying to burn a bit of fuel here. As if I look on his steering wheel, it seems like he has an extra 1.5 laps of fuel. Yeah, 7 DNFs so far. It's been a one crazy race. Possibly even more, still more to come. As safety car is coming in this lap. I didn't notice that I was looking at chat, but yeah, TT forced. He does have the advantage of that lap car being in the way. Of course, it will. I think the lap car will ghost second the restart, second the race gets going again. But it's still blocking Toss Myself from getting too close to him. So this definitely has fallen in Lucas's favour. Of course, he does have older tyres than everyone else, so Lewis and Aaron will be very eager to chase him down, as Lucas is underway and he's obviously got a massive gap, 1.6 second gap to Toss My Salad, as the lap car was getting in the way, and good on Danny there, just moving over to the right side and just braking completely to get out of the way of everyone. He could have been annoying and blocked a few people, but fair play to him there, as John Ag 1/10 behind Toss My Salad, so maybe could be trying to make a move, but Aaron's gonna have to dispatch of these two pretty quickly and make sure that Lucas doesn't get too far away, because the further away Lucas gets, oh, John Ag just goes wide there, and Aaron makes the move. Lewis can't get the move done, looking to make it through the chicane but can't get it done just there. I'm sure he definitely gets better traction, gets pushed off the track by John Ag. I'm not sure if that's really John Ag's fault, as Lewis didn't really have the room, but that's a bit of John Ag's fault, pushing him there, as Melvin has lost some positions. I wonder what that is for. Manel up to P7 and Brady Pollock up to P6. Lewis looking to make the move through the chicane, doesn't get it done, but I just skipped forward to Aaron trying to make the move on Toss My Salad in the same chicane, but Aaron almost just taking off Toss My Salad's front wing there, down that straight, as he was trying to move over to the left-hand side to get the ideal line through that turn, and now Aaron will have to make up 4 seconds, although I do think Lucas has a 3-second time penalty, so maybe it will just be 6/10 that we have to make up. Let's look at the penalties now. Aaron also has a 3-second time penalty, so if Lewis can dispatch these 2 drives ahead pretty quickly, then this is his race to win. The Scotsman who took pole, currently P5, although I'm sure he will get past John Ag pretty quickly. Yeah, as he gets by on the straight, he's used a lot of ERS on this restart, a little lock up in the front right there. But from what I've seen, there's been no crashes or safety car restart, which is good from all the drivers. Good to see nice clean driving from everyone. Now Lewis will have to try and get past Toss My Salad very quickly if he wants a chance at this win. I think he can do it. Oh, that's a big crash there from Brady Pollock and Manel Artunez. As I'm not sure what's happened, but they've just gone off at the end of Sector 1. Start of Sector 2. No, that's a VSC. No fourth safety car, I should say, but a VSC. So I'll just keep an eye on it, everyone, just to make sure nobody gets any drive-throughs, as it's definitely a risk with these VSCs, as it's not too difficult to get a drive-through. I think if you are TRT4s with a 4-second gap, you are just thinking, okay, yeah, I'm gonna just take this nice and slowly. It doesn't matter if he loses a few temps there, but no drive-throughs from anyone, which is good to see. But yeah, so as we continue on, Lewis is definitely gonna have to make that move on Toss My Salad sooner rather than later. And then he's going to have to catch up to the back of Aaron. Lucas must have made some mistake there. Or his tyres just completely dying off there, as he's now only got a 2.5 second gap to Aaron. So the quicker Lewis gets past Toss My Salad, the quicker and more chance he has of getting within that 3-second window of both drives ahead and winning this race. So no penalties from Lewis could really help him claim victory in this race. It's Emerald, Oscar and Manuel Tunes are now in the pits, I assume, both going onto soft tyres, as that would make the most sense, as they can then try for fast lappers. Lewis looking to make the move through the chicane, bold, daring, and oh, he's gone round. Toss My Salad not leaving enough room, and that is heartbreaking for the Scotsman, as he just tried making the move into the chicane. You've got to feel for Lewis there. He definitely had a strong chance of winning this Grand Prix, but just it was a bit too audacious from him. But he wasn't left enough room really, and sort of just hit off into the barrier, although I'm not sure if it was him being a bit too greedy with the throttle. So absolutely heartbreaking for Lewis there, as he definitely had a strong chance of winning this Grand Prix, although you can't stop too much to think of it, as we still do have a race to look at, as Aaron pushing and trying to get past Lucas Force. Is that both of them need to make sure, little snapper oversteer, both of them need to make sure they don't get any more penalties, as it could give the other huge advantage. This going off that 10-second time penalty that Lucas got wasn't his fault. Then Aaron could be in a chance with winning this race if he can catch him. He's got the fresher tyres and really has all the advantages he could ever want or ever need to try and win this race. As Melvin will look to make a pretty good recovery. He started P9, but he's definitely made a brilliant recovery in this race to get to P. There's a yellow flags there. I'm not sure what that's for, if anything. And you've got to feel for Lewis there. He's just sitting and waiting to be let out of the pit lane, as he's gone all the way back to P8. Maybe not even that. Maybe P9. Yeah, it will be P9. So he's going to try his hardest to get fast lap, I'm sure. But got to feel for him. And Aaron's clearly made some big mistake, as Lucas is 5 seconds clear. What has happened to Aaron McFall there? As Toss My Salad and John Ag might be on for an unlikely podium. If those tyres can last, then this would be a shock podium for either one, for whoever gets it, as they both started pretty low down. Emerald Oscar, pretty good race from him too. Gained 10 positions, although a lot of that is down to all the DNFs that we've had. But Aaron is going to have to push like a stabbed rat and get within overtaking range with this with laps running out, as Melvin gets past John Ag. Will John Ag try and come back at him down the next straight? No, as Melvin has a lot more ERS, just easily defend and not even have to move over to the right side. Marcus gets past John Ag as well, side by side. The Norwegian trying to get the move done on him, and he gets it done, even though he did have to push him off track. And now you've got to feel for John Ag here, as he's lost a lot of positions. Could he lose another one to King Enzo? Doesn't for the time being. But Toss My Salad still in that P3 position, although Melvin is gaining on him at a rate of knots, so he could still could Melvin recover from P9. Ooh, a little contact between King Enzo and John Ag there, as Melvin recovered from P9 all the way to P4 currently, although it could still be a very good result for Melvin, and he could get a podium in the opening race of the season. So that'd be very impressive, as now Lucas's tyres are very must be very worn now. 16 laps he's done on them, and he does have Aaron on those fresh mediums, he's only done 6 laps on them. So we're gonna have to wait and see how this goes. I couldn't predict a winner. It's much like what happened in the real-life Bahrain Grand Prix, as Toss My Salad tyres where it must have been too much for him, as he is going to come in for a set of softs. and that'll be the end of his podium chance as I comes in for his softs there. But yeah, it's very much a deja vu to what happened in the real life Bahrain Grand Prix with someone on fresher tyres hunting down the man in first. Marcus and Melvin scrapping away for that final podium position, as Marcus currently has beat. So great race for Marcus Tool then. Look at penalties though, he does have they both have 6 seconds, so if Enzo gets close enough, could he maybe claim that podium? This is going to be very close to see who gets the... What race that'd be from Enzo though, to get P3 from very far back on the grid, P15 on the grid, with 5 stops. I think he'd have to be my driver there if he does get it, but we'll have to wait and see. He just needs to make sure he doesn't get any more penalties than he currently has, and we could see a very unlikely podium from the, I believe he's Austrian. Anyway, yeah, so, we just need, Aaron just needs to hope he makes no more mistakes and can just push and push and push and get that, get close to the back of Lucas Force, because if he's in DRS, then that is going to be where it all comes down to, if he can get to within DRS towards the end of this race. King Enzo now will definitely want to make that move on Melvin, as he needs to stay within 3 seconds of Marcus Tool and not get any extra penalties. If he wants that podium position, it'd be a great race for Enzo if he did. His teammate, of course, getting a lot of bad luck with, you know, making that contact with John Ag, who really was out of position, out on the wrong tyres compared to everyone else. So you got to feel for Lewis there, sorry, as he had no penalties and was driving a brilliant race. But we will continue on now, as I think Lucas might just hold to win as long as he doesn't get any penalties. Oh yeah, I definitely think Lucas is going to hold on to this win now, as Aaron's got another penalty. So great race from TRT Force, as he did start, I think, yeah, P3 on the grid. So it's going to be very close coming into these last couple laps of the race. Marcus Tool has now pulled 1.5 second gap to Melvin, so that is definitely going to give Enzo a chance to overtake down this next straight, as he will have DRS and Melvin won't. Melvin does have the advantage with overtake mode, but we'll have to wait and see. Will Enzo be able to, I think Enzo will just be too far back to make the move, but there's still definitely a chance that he can make it in the next few corners, and the podium dream is definitely still alive for King Enzo. And if he doesn't get a podium, then I'm sure he'll probably get P. Oh, that I've just noticed. Marcus now has 9 seconds worth of penalties, so maybe that will just make Melvin and King Enzo maybe just hurry up a bit more, as they definitely are still within a shot of a podium as long as they stay within 6 seconds to Marcus. That must be so frustrating for the Norwegian, as he could have just lost a podium there. But if Enzo can just push and push and push and get past Melvin quickly, then he could definitely get a podium by the end of this race. There's a little bit of overtaking action towards the back of the grid now, with Emeril, Oscar and Manel just really battling, and ooh, bit of a bang of wheels there. Rear to, not sure if maybe Manel didn't see him there or something like that. But yeah, Marcus gaining on Aaron though. So Marcus Thor has actually absolutely come alive in this Grand Prix, and he's definitely, maybe he could challenge for the win. I mean, I'm not sure if he'll be able to, but if Lucas's tyres completely die off by the end of this Grand Prix, it could be close. He's done 20 laps on those hards. He's definitely not made it easy for himself, as he could have came into pit when that safety car came out a few laps ago. But we will have to wait and see, as we're within, I think, 5 laps to the end now. As Marcus almost within that 1 second gap of Aaron. So maybe it'd be very unexpected if Marcus could get the P2 here, as he'd have to pull out a 3 second gap to Aaron. But he's driven brilliantly at the end of this Grand Prix, and you got to give it to Marcus there, as he's found a lot of pace on those mediums. Yeah, so we are nearing the end of this Grand Prix, and I think Lucas may have this one sort of just in the bag, as long as he makes no mistakes and just makes sure his tyres don't puncture. As John Ag out of the session, we'll just ride on board with top of my side to see what happened. I think he's probably spun it through the chicane, as a lot of people have. But that does mean now that every finisher will be getting points. So, you know, that's... got to feel for John Ag there. You know, he's also driven a brilliant race. He wasn't going to find it easy towards the end of the Grand Prix on those aging hards. But we are... still, he's out now, and that does mean that Danny will still get a point. I think he's left the session, so his AI will get a point, unless there are more DNFs now. Manel is within the DRS range of Lewis. Only a battle for P7, but it seems to be one that Manel could win here, as Aaron has been overtaken by Marcus Tour. Apologies, I've missed that there, as he's found a lot of pace now, Marcus. And I know I've said it before, but he could challenge for Lucas. He could challenge Lucas. I'm not sure. I think it is a bit too little, too late with only 4 laps remaining. But if Lucas's tyres really die at the end of this Grand Prix, or if he gets a puncture, it's going to be close. I'd like to think Lucas could hold on to this, but Marcus Tool could be the very, very unlikely winner. Although he does have that extra. He does have 9 seconds worth of penalties compared to everyone else's. I still have no idea what Lucas got 10 seconds worth of penalties for. So obviously he got 3 second time penalty for going 4 corners, but I don't know what he's got that extra 10 seconds for. Yeah, 9 DNFs now. It's gonna be close towards the end of this Grand Prix. As he's gained 3 temps on him there, only 4.8 behind. So it's going to be close. Marcus will be giving it everything. Make sure he doesn't have to defend and waste any time with Aaron behind. But yeah, it's going to be very close come the end of this race. And do wonder who's going to get it here. 4.5 behind now, so it's going to be close. Marcus setting the fastest time done all race. So I'm starting to doubt maybe that Marcus could have this as those 22 laps old hards. Let's just ride on board and see how Lucas is finding it. As could there be a risk of a puncture? He pit very early onto those hards, under the second safety car, I think. It might even be the first. But it's going to be extremely close as Marcus has gained a second alone on that lap, and as the race as the laps come by, the next 2 laps, Lucas is only going to get slower. So it's going to be extremely close. He has to gain essentially 2 seconds a lap, or more than 2 seconds. But could Marcus win it on track? I'm sure he's not going to win it on penalties, as well, Lucas would have to crash for him to win it on penalties, but he might win on track, which would be definitely positive signs for the Haas driver continuing on in this season. As Lewis and Manel having a very close scrap here, as they have for a few laps now. Lewis going to try it down the inside, and a very easy move to get done on the straight. Little lock up on the front right, but yeah. So Lewis in P7. I'm sure he would have preferred to be in P1 at the moment, but that spin earlier did just cost him in the end. Yeah, 2 laps remain. Marcus has slowed down a bit this lap, only gaining 5 tenths so far, but he could still gain another second in the final sector. So yeah, I think Ghost will be on track if Marcus has pretty much no ERS left, as using it out of every turn. Manuel and Lewis scrapping away. It's a pretty exciting race driving for both of them. But yeah, he's 3 seconds back now. I wonder how, so King Enzo with his scrap of Melvin. Ooh, those just got onto it. Mistake from Enzo, but as long as he remains within 3 seconds, Enzo could still be on for the podium actually. If he catches up to the back of Melvin, he might just be Aaron. It's going to be close, but he could do it. He's probably going to get P4 as long as he doesn't make any more mistakes. But he could do it. He could do it, and that'd be very impressive from the Renault driver. Yeah, Marcus still gaining, but I don't think it will be enough in the end. As Danny is getting lapped for a second time now, although he did leave the session, so he's just an AI. So that's not really that surprising, as he's slow. It's going to be a lot slower. But yeah, Marcus 2.5 behind. I think it will say that Marcus has won, but I don't know. It really depends if those 10 seconds worth of penalties were deserved from Lucas. I'm going off the basis that it weren't, because you know, when you get 5 seconds, they're not normally that deserved, really. But anyway, Lucas will come by to win it on track as he comes through the penultimate corner into the final corner now. No punctures. TSE Forced has won the first race of the season on track, although I think Marcus will get it on penalties, but it really will depend after the race if those penalties get removed for Lucas. As Aaron comes across the line, P3, Melvin and King Enzo just in the back, just in the distance, as Melvin has spun after the line, thankfully. And King Enzo, what a performance from him. Great driving. I thought we had no chance of getting anywhere near the podium, but he made 5 pit stops and will take his first podium of the season. 8 tenths ahead of Aaron, as now the only 2 drivers left to finish will be Mano and Lewis, as they still scrap away. As Lewis doesn't need to go for any move here. He has it on penalties by a lot, so I think Lewis can just really finish the race, and just, it'll be frustrating only to come P7 after what was a brilliant quali lap and just a brilliant first half of the race from Lewis. But you know, F1 is a cruel sport. There's a bit of frustration in just flailing of the wheel there. But Marcus will win the first Grand Prix, but it really depends. Does Lucas get those 10 seconds worth of penalties removed? Well, guess we'll have to see after the race, but your provisional winner is Marcus Tool, Lucas Forced P2, and King Enzo rounding out the provisional podium. And of course, no surprise there, King Enzo gets driver of the day with so many pit stops, starting from P15. An absolutely incredible performance from Enzo. He DNF'd in qualifying, but absolutely came back brilliantly in the race. So yeah, Marcus Tool. Can't say I expected this one with him to come anywhere near the win, but as it stands, he's the winner of the first race of the season, although I'm sure there'll be, depending on what happened with those penalties for Lucas, they may be removed. But a brilliant first race of the season, with a lot of excitement, DNFs, safety cars, and even virtual safety cars, as Marcus Tool is the winner on a two-stop. TSE Forced P2, King Enzo P3, Aaron McFall P4, Melvin P5, Toss My Salad P6, Lewis P7, Manuel P8 with the fastest lap, Emerald Oscar P9, Danny P10, and that rounds out the finishes. The DNFs were John Ag, Brady Pollock, the Norwegian Boy, F1 Fado, HMW Shender, July, Vice Sheng, YT, IZ Leroy, and PMP Mac. So make sure to join us for the next race. I'm not sure where it is, but hopefully it can be as exciting as this one. Great racing from everyone today, and I hope you all have enjoyed the stream. I've been your commentator, and I'll see you for the next race.